Chris Cuomo here. Welcome to NewsNation. It's good to have you all. So we're going to take a look tonight through the lens of the difference between what people want you to believe and what is actually happening. And I'm going to do it off the cuff because, God forbid, I have a teleprompter on this show. We do everything spontaneously. As Bill O'Reilly once famously said, we'll do it live. So there's a Bible verse. Matthew has it notably, but it's in different places in the Bible. And what it refers to is that when the end of days comes, the angels are going to toss the non-believers into the fire, and there will be gnashing of teeth. That's the way the political parties want you to think about what's going to happen if you're not with them. The problem with it is that that is really a standard and a fear that just works for them, not for us. That's what they want you to believe. Now, if you look at the lens of what's actually happening, you're going to be better served as a critical thinking independent. For example, the immigration battle. That is definitely the war afoot right now, early on in the Trump administration. So the first example is the cartels are firing at Border Patrol people because they know Trump is coming for them. Says who? Podcasters on Twitter? That's not what's happening. Yes, look at the screen. The Department of Homeland Security sources told NewsNation earlier today, Border Patrol agents near Fronten Island, Texas, also known as Cartel Island, were fired upon by suspected cartel members on the Mexican side of the border. Border Patrol returned fire. No one was hit. Okay, this is unusual. So why is it? Because they're coming after Trump? No. We have no reason to believe that. There's reporting from a year ago when a couple of the capos from the cartels were arrested, including El Chapo's son, and the cartel sent word they'd begin attacking authorities. And that's when you see it. The truth is enough. There's a real problem. There's no need to hype it about how the cartels are responding to Trump. It's BS. It's same with all the drama surrounding the immigration roundup raids. No need to jump on what Trump says. Just watch what happens. Right now, everything is about online outrage on this issue. Have you seen this?
I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. So many people are getting attacked. Children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
Look, I feel for the kid. That's Selena Gomez. Her grandparents were illegal entrants. Now, but she's got to know, on social media, you put your heart out there, you're asking to get it trampled on. So, you know, while she understands that people should not be defined only by how they enter this place, she put herself out there, and the right crushed her for not caring about the right people. It was so nasty and pointless, but the venom works. Gomez took it down. Look what she wrote. Apparently, it's not okay to show empathy for people. No, it is okay. And you shouldn't have taken it down. Don't let online bullies dictate who and what you care about. Compassion is not criminal. And my conservative brothers, I give a straight take about the problems on the border, and I have, whether Democrats like it or not. But you can care about Lake and Riley and people who come in illegally and otherwise do everything right and now risk having their families destroyed. You can worry about that, too. Some of you guys are way too harsh for the Christians you purport to be. We can enforce the law and still be compassionate. Tom Homan doesn't even talk like some of you online warriors. Now, the bigger point here is there are better ways to make an impact on this issue for Democrats than wading in the mud of Twitter. Like what? Well, just watch what's happening. Trump hears ICE is doing its job, but basically at just a little bit of a better rate than under Biden. So he gets frustrated. Then comes reports that Trumpers are pushing for bigger numbers, like by a third. Trump wants the show, but there's a risk. He doesn't care about that part, just like with the pardons. rushing is a mistake. And pushing quotas is a bad mistake. You are going to push the men and women doing the job to make decisions that may be wrong under that pressure to put up numbers. So instead of watching and hoping that happens, which I certainly don't, there is an opportunity for people of good conscience in Congress to see what's coming, and instead of just saying Trump is wrong, do what you think is right. Move to protect dreamers before they become collateral damage in a hyper-aggressive enforcement environment. Remember, I said it. I know Democrats can't pass anything, and I know there aren't enough Republicans to go against anything that Trump wants in the moment, but at least you could show that you are about the right things. Right? Be clear. Immigration, like I said, is the major battleground early on. And Trump has high ground because Biden caved to his left flank, and they are toxic on this issue. Witness AOC, the face of the problem for Democrats on this issue. Just now, you saw this weekend, right? Trump threatens Colombia. Colombia says we're not taking the return flights. Trump threatens Colombia with tariffs, all right? AOC jumps on it to score a political gotcha, linking the tariffs that he threatened against Colombia with higher coffee prices and inflation. Now she cares about inflation. You're trying too hard, lady. Colombia's president even retweeted AOC's post, and her squad pals were going off about how Trumpers can't spell Colombia, which is true, but so what? It's penny ante BS. The threat worked. Colombia caved. The point is this. Democrats don't hate, facilitate. Hate is the MAGA game, okay? Push for changes that matter and be vocal about that, not Trump. And on this issue especially, AOC is perfect proof of why Democrats lost this last election and what must change. You're being too harsh about AOC. No, I'm not. I respect AOC's passion, if not her positions. She's made a great platform for herself in Congress, not through legislative achievement, not through even really messaging that has resonated in the country in a real way, but it works for herself. And you got to appreciate that in politics. She's got millions and millions of followers online. It's just not translating to anything good for her party. In fact, the opposite is true, okay? She does not, she's a believer. She just doesn't believe in the right things on this issue to be in step with the American people. Well, that's your opinion. No, it's provable. She was one of 4 Democrats who opposed the emergency border funding in 2019, sent billions in aid to migrant kids, desperately needed it. Why? Because it also included $300 million for ICE and CBP, and she wanted ICE defunded, like Homeland Security, like the police. You want more? Okay. She was against the bipartisan border deal last year. Nah, but that wasn't a great bill. It was never going to make it past the House. Langford is a loser. Okay, if that's what you choose to believe, I don't. I think Senator Langford had a big constituency behind him that then got quiet when Trump didn't like the bill. But fine. She was also against Biden's asylum executive order, which ultimately led to the lowest border crossing numbers during his administration. She was against it. So how do we know that this was the wrong posture on the policy? Look at the Democrats' own postmortem poll. Immigration was the number 2 reason swing voters and Latino voters went for Trump. These 2 groups were key to his win. Democrats seem to guess that all Latinos would be illegal entrance friendly. Talk about not being woke. And they were wrong. Trump received a record number of Latino voters last year. He got 46% of Latinos. And he got a 20-point shift with Latino men from 36% in 2020 to 55% in 2024. You know who else Democrats like her pissed off? People watching NewsNation, independents. Trump saw a 10-point swing in his favor from 2020 to 2024. Biden crushed him with independents. Harris barely beat him. So that is the reality. This immigration is the proving ground for the Trump administration right now. Either you can try to head up the hate parade and hope that everything he does bombs, or you can be a part of what works well and a part of trying to say what would be better. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.